Hello guys, welcome back to our channel Planet for Tech. I hope you all are doing great and learning lots by watching all the continuous episode of our tech series. And today in the continuing episode, I am going to describe you the Razorpay payment gateway integration in PHP. So today we are going to understand like how we can integrate the Razorpay payment gateway, which is most popular payment gateway in India among all the other payment gateway. So how we can integrate this Razorpay payment gateway in a PHP. So let's see it one by one. So there are particular steps to integrate the Razorpay payment gateway in PHP. So the first step is what? First of all, we have to create the account in a Razorpay payment gateway. So guys, you can see here, this is the official website of Razorpay. I am going to mention this in the notes. So first of all, what you have to do, you have to create account in the Razorpay payment gateway. Once you have created your account, then you can log in and you can get the details required for the payment gateway integration. So I am going to show you. So here I am going to log in first. So you can see I have logged in. So once you have logged in, then you have to go inside this sidebar, and in the sidebar in the bottom side you will see the settings icon, settings menu. So just click on the settings and you will see the configuration, webhook, API keys, reminder. So you have to click on API keys, and after that you have to click generate test key, generate test key. So once you will click on this, so it will say like this option. So simply click on this deactivate old keys immediately and click on the confirm and deactivate. So it will give you the two key ID and the secret key. So just make a note down of this key ID and secret key. So this is the first step you have to do. So I am making note of this key ID and secret key for the future use. So this is our key ID and there is one secret key. So this is the secret key. Once it is noted, you have to click on OK and leave it as it is. So this is our key ID and this is secret. Simply you have to note it down in a notepad. So in the step 2, you have to get API key and secret key from the dashboard of razorpay.com. So this one I have described you how we can do that. Then after, the next step is what? You have to create few pages in PHP. The first page will be what? The index page, like the place from where the order is going to be performed. So steps, this is the step 3. Create following pages in PHP. So what following pages we want? We want pages like index.php page from where we have to start order, and another page we have to create. This is the checkout page, checkout.php. So here what you have to do, so here we are going to catch the response of payment gateway. So these three basic page we want, but once these three pages are created, so before it we need to install the framework of Razorpay PHP SDK. So how we can do that? So for that we need to download, or if you have the composer, so you can install it by composer command. So I'm going to mention that command here. So you can keep it like install Razorpay URL I am mentioning here. So you have to go to this URL and you have to create the SDK folder. However, just to save the time, I have already done this code and I'm going to describe you how we can do this. So let me show you. So simply click in this URL and you will see the GitHub. So here, this is the Razorpay SDK GitHub. Here you can see this is the Razorpay library, and this is being maintained by the Razorpay community team. So here you can see this is all about. So this is the composer commands you need to integrate to install this Razorpay payment gateway SDK. So this I have done. Let me show you. So here in this folder, uh, I have just started the command prompt cmd like this, and simply you have to use that command from the GitHub. So just copy paste here and run it. Once you will run it, so you will find it is going to create one vendor folder that is going to contain all the library or SDK you can say for the Razorpay payment gateway. So let me do it. So here you can say the vendor folder is created and the composer.json, composer.log, these files are created. But for Git, I have added the Git ignore as well, just to ignore the vendor folder. And now come to the next point, that is what the page creation. So how we are going to do that? So let's see here it one by one. So here, as I have mentioned you, we need the git config.php file. So this config.php file I have already created. So I'm going to show you its data, like what data we are having in that file. So here you can see, let me increase the font size just so that you guys can see this clearly. So this is the config.file. You can see here the structure of this project. So this is the vendor folder which is having the SDK of Razorpay, and apart from this we have few PHP file, checkout.php, index.php, index.php, and success.php. So this is all about the pages what I have described you here: config.php, index.php, checkout.php, and success.php. Now we are going to understand the config.php part first. So in the config.php first, what you have to do, you have to give the base URL of your project, like what is the base URL of your project. So for my case, the base URL is this one, so like localhost HTML practice and the payment gateway integration Razorpay. And after this you have to define the API key. You can see the API key. So this API key is nothing what we have got from the step. Here you can see we have got the API key and secret key from the dashboard of the Razorpay. So this we have noted here in this. This is the API key. You can see we have just noted few minutes back. So this API key I have mentioned here, and after that I need this secret key. So this secret key I have mentioned here. So after this, you have to provide your company name. So for me, it is a Planet for Tech, and company logo URL. So this is the logo URL. Whatever you have, you can pass it there. So let me show you what we content we are having in this URL. So this is the logo URL. So this once you have done all the setting of this config.php file, then after we have to create the next file, that is the index.php file. So in that index.php file, what we are going to do, so here you can see I have already described you in the index.php file. I am going to describe you like the simple one input box I will have, and name and email ID of customer. So from where the order will get started. So just see here. So this is the index.php file. So in this, the code is nothing. You can see this is the simple bootstrap template. I have just copied it from W3 school, and after that, just container I placed, and the browser. This is the heading, and this form I have created. So guys, you have to notice this form. Like in the action, you can see I have mentioned the checkout.php, and the method is post. So this is what means once this form is submitted, it is going to be handled by the checkout.php. So this is the next page. So in this, what I have mentioned, name and the email and the amount. So let me show you how this page looks like. So for that, I need to open this base URL in my project. So let me show you. Here you can see I have created this simple interface like name, email, and amount. So I am going to put the name and email and amount. So once I will put it, so it will go to the integration page, that is the checkout page. So let's see the code of the checkout page as well here, so that we can have better understanding. So in the checkout page, what we are doing, so this is the main, you can say the main business logic, main payment gateway integration page where you have to focus. So what we have done, see here, in the first top line, we have started the session start. This is because we are going to keep one order ID, local order ID in the session. For that purpose, we have started the session start function, and here config.php is required, and vendor auto load. So this is what the vendor, this is the vendor SDK, means what we have installed from the Razorpay GitHub. So this is what loading the vendor have library. This is just loading the Razorpay library SDK, you can say. So in the line number 7, we just include one. We just used one class, that is the Razorpay API and API. So here in the line number 9, we are just checking like the form is submitted or not. This is the form. If the form is having the amount, if it is submitted, let me make it text. If it is submitted properly, so it is going to here. So here we are just checking name, email, and amount, which is coming from the index.php. And this line you have to notice, this is the part of the Razorpay, you can say. So this is the API start Razorpay API start. So here what we have done, API key and API secret. So as I have told you, like payment gateway related things we have already kept in a config.php. So API key, API secret is there. So this file is already included in the top. So from here it is getting this API key and API secret. After this, what we have done, so this is the call, API call. This is the Razorpay API call, this API instance, and we have called the order and create. We just created one order. So this is the receipt number. If you want, you can keep it random. And this is the amount what is coming from the index.php. You can see here. And this is the currency symbol, and notes means in the notes you can pass other parameters if you want. Otherwise, you can skip it. Now, let's see, once this order is created in the Razorpay API, so it will return you the order ID. So this order ID, I have checked like a response is having the ID or not. If this is having the ID, so this is going to be considered as order ID. So this order ID I have stored in the session. I can see here. So after this, what we have to do, simply we have to initiate the quick pay integration of the Razorpay. So this is the quick pay integration. So what we have to do in the quick pay pay integration. So this is the part of the code. You can see in this there will be a one form tag, and inside the form tag there will be one JavaScript tag. So in the JavaScript tag there are lots of options. So these options we have to provide. Then only this uh, payment gateway, Razorpay payment gateway will work. So let me describe you. So the first thing is what in the action part you have to pass the base URL slash success, means you have to pass the callback URL, that is the success page. So this is success page is what? So this success page is what which is going to catch the response of payment gateway after it is processed. Now in the method it should be post. This two line you have to make a note like this success.php. I have already created here success.php. Will show you its code as well. Now come to the next point, that is the SRC, data key, data amount, data currency, data order ID. So these all information you have to fill. So this is what this will be the common for everyone. And here the API key is coming from the config.php. This API key we are using there, and the amount is coming from the index.php. This is currency, and this is order ID. Here this is the order ID, and the amount again coming from this is the button text what we are going to expect in the checkout.php. So this will get display on the button, and this is the name of the company which is coming from the again config.php, and this is the company description. If you want you can give, otherwise you can skip it, this is optional. And company logo URL, so this is for the logo which is going to be uh, shown on the payment gateway page while doing the payment. payment interface, and this is the customer name and customer email ID, and this is the button color. If you want, this is the theme color. Basically this is the theme color, so you can keep it whatever you want. Let's suppose I want the green color, so I can keep the green color as well. So if you want the hidden field or the extra information, so you can keep the extra information here as well. Otherwise you can skip it. Now once it is done, so it is going to show the success checkout page. Let me show you how it looks in the web browser. So you can see I am going to fill the data here, sp sony, and the email id spsony.acc at gmail.com, and the amount I am going to keep the 100. So once I will click on the pay now button, so it will go to the next page. So this is the checkout page. You can see it is showing the pay 100 with the Razorpay. So this is what we have already mentioned here, pay this amount with the Razorpay. That is why it is showing there. Now, once I will click on this, so it will show the pop-up for the payment gateway of Razorpay. Let's see here how it is showing. So here you can see, guys, it is showing the test mode because I am using the credential of test mode only, but you don't need to worry about like the live mode. So once your payment gateway is live, so you just only need to replace the API key here and this API secret. Then after it will behave like your live payment gateway integration. So here you can see it is at the test mode, and it is showing the company name, the company name and logo, and this is the amount what we have. So guys, you have to notice one thing, this is very important, why this amount is showing here 1. As we have already shared, we have the amount as 100, but it is showing here 1. This is because whatever amount we are passing from there in the place at the time of integration, what we have to keep, with this amount we have to add two decimal digit, then only it will show correct one, otherwise it will show like 2 digit less. So now you can see it is going to show the proper. Let me show you. Still it is showing less. Sorry, this amount I have to integrate, then only you will see the proper value there. Now you can see this is again it is not showing. Let me, so instead of doing that, simply you have to convert this amount in a numeric format. So let me make it here number format, and we have to pass it, keep the 2 as a decimal separator. Now we can see it there in the browser. So number format is also not accepting, it is giving this error like this way. So what we can do, so you have to consider it like if the amount is you are showing here, the amount is let's suppose it is 200. So it is going to be consider only the 2 rupees, because the last two digit it is taking as a decimal part. So to process the 200, you have to append two extra digit with that, then only it will work, otherwise not. So let me keep like this way, amount dot, and I'm going to append to 0, then only it is going to consider it as proper uh, amount value. Let me show you. Now you can see it is showing the 100 because I have appended 20 there. Now here we have to give the phone number, and the email ID is already coming from there. Once you will click the proceed, so after giving this information, it is going to show you the success page. Let me show you how it is working. So I'm going to give the UPI ID. Clicking here, it is just processing, and it is going to on the success page. So this is the success page you can see, but it is showing some error. This is because the function is not available. That is why it is showing this error. So here you can see it is showing payment successful. This was because the HMAC function was written wrongly in the success.php. Let me show you how it is done. So here in the success.php, this is the code of success.php. So this is the same uh, file like what we have set in the action callback URL in the checkout page. So in the success.php, let me show you what code we have written. So in the success.php, you can see we have this code like we have just included that config.php just to have the access on the API key and the API secret. After this, we have started session, and this post we are checking because whatever the payment gateway is sending is the post response. So we are checking that post response here, and in the from the payment gateway, if the payment is successfully done, so it is returning you the three things. One is what The first is what Razorpay order ID it is giving you. Razorpay order ID and the Razorpay signature it is giving, and after this you can see it is giving the Razorpay payment ID. So these three things you will get from the payment gateway, and on the basis of these three you have to generate the signature first. So this is the recommended way to implement the payment gateway, because we should not trust on the whatever response is coming from the payment gateway. We should generate locally the signature, then only we can check like this is the valid response. So HMAC has HMAC function I have used. So encryption is SHA 256, and this is the order ID and the payment ID if we have to pass here. And this order ID is what, this is what we have maintained in locally. So this one thing you have to remember, you should not pass the Roger Pay order ID here. You have to pass the local order ID what we have passed at the time of creating the checkout. So this order ID we have to take it here, and after you have to pass the API secret. So hashMac function takes basically three argument. The first one is the SHA 256 type of encryption, and the second one is what, string, and the last one is what, the API secret. So this API secret we have passed, and after this you have to check like the generated signature. So this is the generated signature and the Roger Pay signature, both are coming same or not. If coming same, so it is payment successful, otherwise invalid payment. So this is all about the steps we have discussed here, guys, related to the Razorpay payment gateway SDK integration. So I hope this all you have understood well, and I have described in proper way. So if you like our efforts, don't forget to like the video and share it among your friends. So thank you, guys. Thank you so much for watching this.